Hello, everybody. I'm Coulter Scott, and here I am going to be presenting our Module 10 assignment for EDL 852. In this module, we are discussing helping students realize their learning norms, which is a huge aspect into students being able to really succeed within the school, really anything, as well as when we just discussed on professional norms for us as adults. This is a great thing for us to realize and have for our students. I'm going to jump right into here where we have 10 student expectations. Number one is relationships. This is where the students are they a student? Are they a person in your classroom, or are they just somebody that you rely on to get test grades up and to make you kind of look good? The first thing to find success for students is, do students feel connected with their teachers? Do the teachers know some of their interests? Do they know some of their talents? Have they created a mentorship with the student? Are they able to connect with other adults and peers in a positive way? How is a teacher connected to them, or is the teacher just in the classroom and that's the only time they see them? So number one is relationships, which I believe is probably one of the most important things for student success. Then relevance. The relevance of this is the subject that you're talking about or you're teaching relevant to something the kid wants? Are they interested in? Is it something that's maybe currently going on in the real world? Is it something that they can gain some knowledge on to really assist them moving forward? Within their learning, does it help their community immediately around them? So are we teaching things that immediately impact them? And then obviously possibly does the learning help the world as a whole? Number three is time. This one's rough. And number four will connect right along with this one just a little bit, where can we learn on our own time? This one I see has been a lot harder as of recent years of teaching stuff, just because it's everything structured in a way where we feel like we have to tell kids, here's moving forward now. But can we create an atmosphere that gives a student, time to learn on their own? Because we all learn differently. I know me for sure, I struggled at some things and I needed to have my own time to really grasp what was going on. So then we have, is our learning deep as well as broad? Do we go in depth on things, or are we just skating by them and giving them information? Or are we going one narrow-minded where we're just going on this path and we're not teaching them anything else just to get through a subject or a lesson that maybe not be as important? But we got to remember that stuff may be important to some of our students. 4, like I said, is timing. Correlates with creating your time frame to learn things. Is there a cookie cutter way for our students to learn? Do they have to learn A before they learn B and then C? Or can a student create their own learning style to be able to learn in a pattern they want? Can they start at C because that's what interests them, and then from there kind of work their way backwards, or skip around where they're going back and forth to what maybe be their best success of learning the subject? 5 is play. Is there pressure to perform? Is everything you do in your classroom, is it quiz, is it test? Is it the only way that they can show you success is by what they score? Are they comfortable with making mistakes? Can they learn from them? This is an important one. They're going to make mistakes, and if you always have that pressure to perform, they're probably going to maybe make a few more. And how do you respond to that? But if we're able to create things where they can kind of tinker and move things around and learn at their own pace, and you show them that it's okay to make mistakes and show them how to learn from them, this is a great spot for them to do that at. Then are there opportunities to explore? So are you showing them everything they have to know, or are we creating an environment where, we kind of maybe have a prompt and they're able to go out and look up things and maybe just discuss something they want to discuss within a realm, an overall subject matter. If we can create play within the classroom, we can find even, students that really enjoy school and that enjoy to come to school if we're able to create some of this play. So this is definitely another expectation for students that they should really obviously expect from their staff. Number 6 is practice. Do we give them time to use what they learn? Can they implement the subject, the matter, and practice it? Is that just a daily sheet where you send home and that's the homework, that's the practice? Or do they create something? Do they create a project? Do they create their own test? Do they create questions? Do they go do an interview and use the terms and things that they've learned from the class? Can they practice that skill? Can they implement it into their everyday life after they've learned it? This is another way for them to practice and really see if they know what they're doing. Number 7 is choice. Can we create our own path? This is obviously what every kid wants. They want to be able to kind of do what they want to do. Can they provide input in what they want to learn? And can they demonstrate their ability to us? Are they able to go out, learn something from a project, come back, and teach it to the rest of the class? Are there different things where we give them the ability to suggest subjects for their class? How do we give them more power into buying into their own education? And this is a big one for that. Authenticity. When we get into this, this is where I hear a lot of some of our kids is, I'm sitting in class. Is it meaningful to me? And that's give or take with some students. But they need to feel like what they're doing means something. They don't want to just sit around and just learn because we tell them they have to. They want it to be meaningful to them in the present and maybe in the close future. I think some students now really struggle with thinking long term, but if we can get them thinking over the next couple years just to get them started, is great. So this being authentic with our students is, can we make things meaningful to them, what they're learning about? Is it respected by people in our community? Will our students be noticed for the work they're doing? Will they be noticed and be thought of highly from our community, maybe a future employer, and especially obviously our families? The challenge. Students just don't want to do busy work. If it seems too easy and it seems like it's the same thing every day, you might have some backlash of students not doing things, really struggling moving forward within their coursework. So challenge them. Doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be a hard challenge, but make them think, let them do some things on their own, and you'll find some success. So that's where we have this ladder of make sure we're always climbing to reach a higher standard. Does our work address high and meaningful standards for excellence? This is where we want our students to get to and have the knowledge of. Number 10 is application. Can we take what we learn and apply it to the real world setting? As we start back at the start, are we teaching them to answer test scores? Are we teaching them to just do what the curriculum says? Are we doing it as an educational standard, or are we getting them prepared to be great human beings, moving forward, being able to come make decisions on their own, be able to think on their own, and be able to be people that we want to be around and we want to work for us someday? So I thought this was a great little picture that really kind of shows the humor behind this, but also a lot of truth in this as well, is we want good, well-rounded people. For the national standards, we worked on number 2.1. The first one is the standard correlation. After working on this module 9 over professional norms for ourselves, it only makes sense that module 10 assignment is over norms for our students. This assignment correlated with the national standards by giving resources that gave knowledge to teachers about the norms students are expecting to assist in their learning. They discussed that for our students to succeed in the classroom, a teacher needs to cultivate a learning environment that is fair to each student, based on how the student might learn in different ways and how we need to foster that learning. Teachers should build trust with students, collaborate, and show students how to be lifelong learners. If a teacher can model and provide the 10 expectations shown, they will improve their own professional norms and promote the success for their students they may come in contact with. The next is the relevant statement. I really believe by watching this video resource of the 10 student expectations was very relevant to my learning and for my profession and teaching. Being able to understand more on what a student wants to get out of their education is a huge help. As a teacher, we are trying to read students and try to figure out why we find success in some students and others are struggling. I'm going to be able to reflect on these norms and infuse them into my own personal norms, taking the time to think about the norms that I feel like I do well, continually make them better, as well as take the areas that I feel like I'm not hitting on as much and grow upon them. The last one is the reflection statement. As a current and future leader, the information from this module will influence how I proceed when I'm working with students, especially if I have a student that may be having a difficult time learning. As a teacher, it is a great self-checklist to see you may be hitting all of these areas with certain students and as a class. Then as an administrator, taking these student norms may need to go into consideration as an evaluation tool when working with staff, as well as with the students. Knowing that the 10 expectations may seem like a lot, but a lot of them correlate with each other. If you are able to be strong in a couple of the norms, then the others will follow in their place pretty easily. If as a leader I am able to model these norms and teach them, then as a school we should have a positive and successful learning environment. Last slide here is my reference slide. I would like to thank you guys for watching and look forward to seeing your guys's. Thank you.